What's going on, everybody? My name is Mason from Cyclone MMA, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking all about Sean O'Malley and whether or not he has the chance to become the UFC Undisputed Champion. So if you guys know anything about MMA or Fortnite, you know who Sean O'Malley is. He's this skinny kid with tattoos, and he's got some crazy hair, and he talks a lot of shit, and he smokes a lot of weed, and he's kind of making some waves in this UFC Bantamweight division. So right now, I feel like Sean O'Malley is already a Conor McGregor type. Not saying he has the popularity of Conor McGregor, because he doesn't, but he could someday get there. But you either love him or you hate him, it seems. He's either a chump who's overhyped, or he's this freaking amazing mixed martial artist who's going to just take the belt right from Peter Yan. But yeah. So I think when analyzing Sean O'Malley, you have to admit his striking's really, really good. What he did to Eddie Wineland and what he's been doing to just everybody has been pretty insane up to this point. Really good striking. It seems like he mixes it up well between his kicks and his punches. In terms of his ground game, it's a little bit hasn't been tested yet, so we don't really know where he's at there. But before we get into all of this analytical stuff, let's just go ahead and take a look at UFC 252, because this has been a big news story. You have Chito Vera defeating him in the first round, and again, you have the vote is split whether or not you think it was a fluke or whether or not you think it was an earned victory. In my opinion, it was an earned victory. At first, I wasn't thinking that, but after going back and seeing the footage of Chito landing that leg kick, shutting down the leg, and then the injury was caused because of that, it makes sense. I mean, Sean O'Malley was controlling that fight, but it didn't even last a round, so you can't say the entire fight would go like that. Because what if Chito was just starting slow? What if he was trying to figure out different ticks and movements that O'Malley would do to then counter and try to come after him? You can't say just because O'Malley was winning the fight up until the leg injury, you can't say that he would win the entire fight. That's ridiculous. Now, does the Chito Vera loss mean he can't become a champion? Absolutely not. Chito Vera's a very good fighter. He's now a top 15 fighter, which knocked, I believe, Sean O'Malley out of the top 15 rankings. But you have to look at all of these fighters in the bantamweight division. Jesus.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
But you have to look at all of these fighters in the bantamweight division and know that there are some really, really, really tough matchups for a guy like Sean O'Malley. And you have to think about the wrestlers. Someone like Aljamain Sterling would be a nightmare for him. Now, there's a few things that I think O'Malley has to improve on, and that is his mentality, and that is his durability. We've already seen 2 or 3 leg injuries out of Sean O'Malley since joining the Dana White Contender Series and fighting in the UFC. And if he keeps taking punishment to his legs, I mean, the bantamweight division is going to take notice. They're going to know to target that. They're going to know to leg kick that. So if he can't, get over that hump, he's going to have many, many issues. If you think Chito Vera kicks hard, think about Peter Yan and Jose Aldo and these other fighters in that 135 division who could just really give punishment to O'Malley's legs. The thing is, O'Malley needs his legs. I mean, no duh, every fighter needs their legs, but especially with O'Malley's style. He's this stand-up striker, and he mixes up his kicks really well with his punches, and he really needs to use his legs. But if him kicking people or him getting kicked is going to be an issue with him hurting his feet, he's not going to make it very far in the 135 division. Now, on the mental side of things, I'm sure there's a lot of people that say, Sean O'Malley's so mentally tough and confident, he's going to rise right to the top. I see it a little bit differently, because he's not really accepting this loss. The thing is, Conor McGregor, right? Let's compare him to Conor McGregor, because I already did that at the beginning. Conor McGregor, when he lost to Nate Diaz, he was like a humbled person. And right away, he was being analytical of himself, understanding what he did good, what he did wrong, and what he needs to improve on. Sean O'Malley didn't do that. He basically said it was a fluke. He basically said, yeah, Chito, you won, but any other time I would beat you. And that's a bad mentality, especially for someone who wants to be a champion. That's not a championship mentality. Sean O'Malley has to see the issues in his game. He has to see that he's got to protect his legs. I know that's easier said than done, and it's not like I have a game plan to give to him to help him out. But I'm hoping that it's just a show. Because with O'Malley, a lot of it is just a show. I mean, he's called the Suga Show. But hopefully he's actually trying to fix these things, because I think he can be really good for the sport, and he is very entertaining to watch. He puts on great fights, and he's a funny dude. I want to root for Sean O'Malley, but he's making it a little bit hard right now. I know some of his fans will be upset with me, and you can talk about that in the comments. I don't care. But this is just my opinion, and you can't hate on a dude for having a different opinion than you. Well, you can, but that kind of makes you a dick. So, will Sean O'Malley be a UFC champion? I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I think he has a really good shot. He's one of the better looking prospects for sure, and I think he can turn around and go on a streak after this loss and just go on a tear and go right to the belt after 3 or 4 fights. But it's easier said than done, and the 135 division is a really, really strong division. So what do you guys think? Will Sean O'Malley ever be a champion? Let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you all next time. I just have a quick little update. I'm giving away a UFC 229 poster, so if you're interested in winning that, that's Khabib versus Conor, by the way. If you're interested in winning that poster, go into the description and click the link, because I have a video explaining on how you can do it. It's easy, and it's obviously free. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe. I have plenty of MMA related videos on this channel, and be sure to check me out on Instagram and Twitter for some MMA goodness.